right.
Here we
Bolt
go.
Bros in the house.
Let's go. 2 of us only in the house today. Two. But we do also have a brother from another mother on the show today. You guys have probably heard of him. His name is the one, the only. NFL Mike is in the house.
What's up?
Hello. Bolt up, everybody.
Good to have you. Good to have you.
Bolt greetings. Happy to be back. I missed you guys. I missed everyone.
Man. It was like last year we were doing a show. We were doing the interviews with all the players at the event and everything too. Fun. That was a great time. Long stream. I didn't want to talk to anybody for the next 5 days at least after that because it was a lot of talking. But
I'm still so thankful for that invite, man. That was a blast.
That was great.
Great time, man. Great time to be able to just be at that event and everything too. But bottom line, we got a good show today. We're excited. Once again, I think you guys know NFL Mike, but I would like you to be able to throw in your socials real quick. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I noticed the jersey you're wearing. So throw out your socials real quick there, NFL Mike.
Yeah. You guys can check me out at the NFL Mike. You can find me on all platforms. Obviously, I got big on TikTok, but I'm trying to get more into the YouTube stuff. I just posted a Chargers video, actually. I do post on all 32 teams. So if you guys like all the NFL teams also, I like to do like less of like your just sit down and break down the analytics and more like what kind of crazy inferences and assumptions can I make from these trends and stats and just completely piss everyone off. That's kind of my goal.
I love that. That's good stuff.
I like to just make people's brains crank with my content if you guys want to check me out.
And I love seeing your comments and responses to people's posts too. I mean, you got to get them heated, and I love it.
Got him.
What's the Raiders said?
Got him.
That's the beauty, That's the beauty of being an NFL content creator that you get so much trash talk sent your way.
Oh, it's crazy.
You can just have fun with all of it. You get so used to it now. It's fun for me to think of the most creative comebacks and even turn the comebacks into videos.
That's great. They're giving you the content. I like it.
They give it to
Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
You don't think this? Okay, I have 10 reasons why. Here we go.
Boom. You're like, oh, this jerk.
I see everyone in the chat. Pappy's in the chat. I miss Aether. Where's Aether?
Aether will be here. He still owes us a bunch of money. He lost a bet with us. You know what I mean?
Oh boy.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. The Chargers are going to go 17-0 or.
Exactly. That's a big part of it. All right, guys, I'm gonna hit the intro, and we got plenty to talk about today, guys. This should be a fun one. Let's get into it.
It's that Pyramid, man. You watching the Boat Bros podcast. Stay tuned.
Charter blue dreams, stadium lights gleam. Boat Bros on the beat, lead stream. Chargers rocking speeds, Sonic supreme. From the podcast to the field, we're a team. Charged up, Boat Bros on the night. LA Thunder in electric delight. Bolts in the battle, sparking bright. Charged up, ride the lightning, feel the fright.
So those of you don't know, Kyle is on a cruise ship right now, and he did say he was going to wear an electric green mankini on that cruise ship. I said, I think that's illegal, Kyle. You're going to get arrested in international waters. So we'll see what happens with that. There might be an incident, very popular podcaster arrested in international waters.
I ordered a stick-on beard, but it didn't come in time.
Oh, man. How nice would that have been? Then we would have still been between two beards. Now I'm the lonely beard man.
We gotta put you a beard in the middle. How about the beard in the middle? How about that? Beard in the middle. There you go. I like that. Oh boy.
We're excited, man. We're excited. Kyle's a wild boy. He's out there having a good time and everything too. So he'll be back in I think a week, I believe, or something like that too. So vacation time is among us right now, guys.
Good times.
Great.
Get out there and have some fun, guys. Always. Touch grass, have a good time.
We're real quick. I know NFL Mike's rocking a jersey that's very specific to a slide I'm about to pop in real quick. But, it's been the talk of the town this week. You know it? Here we go. You know it? The real Mike Dub posted this. Run it back, Turbo. Also, Keenan Allen reposted it on his Instagram.
Yeah.
What are we hearing here, guys? What is up? Something's
That's
brewing.
That's something. And I don't think Keenan Allen, as much as he means to the fan base, as much as the fan base means to him, is going to troll us like this. Like he would troll other fan bases, maybe. There's a chance. If Mike Williams would have went to the Jaguars and, said, let's run it back, maybe he'd be trolling the Jaguars fans and be like, yeah, we'll run it back maybe. He knows, posting this, that there's got to be some kind of conversations at minimum between the Chargers and Keenan Allen coming back. And the Chargers have been trying to get a receiver.
Yep.
They were heavy in the talks with the DK Metcalf trade. They were in the talks in the Cooper Kupp deal. It seemed like it was just too expensive for him. Keenan Allen seems like he could do everything that they would want to do with Cooper Kupp, but be just a little bit less expensive. I mean, It's just like too perfect not to be happening behind the scenes already without them posting about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now they're posting about it. So I'm all in on this, man. Keenan Allen will be so perfect to bring back to the Chargers. Also, like, you just keep stacking up different ways to cook defenses, different ways to beat them each week. Keenan Allen just adds another element to it. I want to keep stacking up receivers too. We've seen how many times Chargers have dealt with injuries in the past that can just go off for 100 yards in any given week. And I think with QJ and Mike Williams and Ladd McConkey and Keenan Allen, I think another draft pick. I mean, we're going to have so many guys. We're going to go from everyone complaining about having no receivers to, man, we need to get the rookie on the field that we just drafted in the 3rd round. Jeez, he's not even getting any freaking playing time right now because we have so many receivers. I'm excited. But also on top of it all, the baked-in chemistry almost makes whatever number Keenan Allen wants worth it. But also what makes it worth it, every single player and every single person in the locker room loves Keenan Allen. Everyone in the stadium is going to have Keenan Allen jerseys. My Mike Williams and Keenan Allen jersey revival gives me half my closet back.
Yeah.
And on top of it all, the best thing of it all is that Keenan loves the Chargers. He always wanted to retire a Charger.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, I think it would be interesting too. And I because I thought about it too, because Ladd runs the slot, right? So where would Keenan Allen go? Clearly, they'll just have to work him in some other way, right? Or they'll just split some reps here and there, right? Or just work some different type of bunch formations to the right side or whatever. They kind of work it that way. There's a lot of things they can do, but guys, Keenan Allen, I promise you they can get him for a cheap contract now that Mike Williams Mike Williams didn't sign for that much money, if I remember correctly. Let me just look up his contract right now. I just think it makes perfect sense. And he doesn't have to play every snap. He can play every once in a while, right? And be nice and easy for him. See here.
Yep. Well, even to say with Keenan Allen, he's been on the record even saying he's Chicago or LA. That's where he wants to go. Even just last week, he was out golfing with Mike Williams too. And I believe even Dizzy was there too, which is another Chargers influencer there too. He was out there, which I don't understand. Maybe he's got some connections working with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, but he was on the golf course playing golf with him together. And I think it's really, really cool to be able to see them together. I mean, they're boys. And you know what? When the whole thing happened and went down with Keenan Allen getting traded, Mike Williams getting let go last year, I felt like Keenan Allen got a little butthurt a little bit about
I think he did. I think he did.
Yep. Now I think he's like, hey, look, man, he's back. So Mike Williams is getting in his ear, like, yo, run it back. Let's go back. Let's do this again, man. Let's bring him back.
Yeah, and Mike Williams is only 1.5 guaranteed. Cap number's $3 million. So
easy.
You could, he's not going to play every snap. He's a part-time NFL player, right? So you could literally bring Keenan Allen, Mike Williams back for one more year, run it back one more time, then they just retire, right? Or maybe play another year.
I think the situation with Keenan Allen that is probably like the same as it was the reason that he left is the Chargers don't want to commit long term.
Yep.
Keenan probably doesn't want to do a 1-year deal just because he doesn't feel like he deserves a 1-year deal, which is fine for him to think that way. That's just not what the market says, unfortunately, on wide receivers right now. So I feel like if they can meet somewhere in the middle and give us a deal where Keenan has a couple years on here, if he keeps playing well, we're going to keep him. If he doesn't keep playing well, it's easy to get out of this contract. The Stephon Diggs thing, we're not going to pay him anywhere near what Stephon Diggs got. Yeah. Stephon Diggs could be out of there next year if it's bad. And it'd be no problem on the Patriots at all. They need to set something up on a smaller scale like that for Slayer to go like, bro, this is to your retirement. This is it right here.
That's exactly what I'm thinking
Whatever
too.
You're done, you're done. And maybe we're the ones that are going to have to call that, but it's going to happen, and it's going to happen here.
Yeah, and so let me ask you this question. I know we're going to talk more about rookies today as well, but I wanted to get your thought, NFL Mike, on how the Chargers did in free agency. Like, what grade would you give them? A to F? And what do you think in the chat? I want to, since you're a guest, I want to hear your thoughts on it. Yeah, A through F.
A minus A. I mean, it was good. I mean, I feel like the Chargers internet's freakouts were overblown. They did something similar to what they did last year, basically. Yeah. The Chargers are just, they're trying to field a very competitive football team while they build the roster through the draft. That's so crystal clear. All the deals are short term, but if these guys hit on a massive in a massive way, if Najee Harris hits in a massive way, he's going to get extended. If Mekhi Becton, he's a couple years, but if Mekhi Becton hits in a massive way, he's going to get a big payday and an extension. Like, if the center that they just signed from the Raiders, James, hits in a massive way, he's going to get an extension. But if they fail, we're going to draft the center.
Yep,
you know what I mean? We're gonna draft help at running back in this draft for sure. And they're going to continue to do this for a couple of years. And then when they feel like they have that Super Bowl caliber team, all these Chargers fans that want us to go full Tom Telesco and bring in J.C. Jackson and all these guys and Sebastian Joseph Day and all these guys in the same offseason, they're going to get that offseason. When Jim Harbaugh feels like we are that away from locking in the Super Bowl, you're going to get that offseason. It's just not going to be the second offseason when we just we fixed the cap situation. It's fixed now. That's that's the situation we're in now.
Yeah, because we got $30 million left in cap space. Probably give that to Rashawn Slater, most likely. We could talk about that as well too. With rumors are that he's getting divorced, but I would give it an A as well too. Everyone's clowning on our free agent signings. I think we did great. Yeah, again, we didn't go out and make a huge splashy play, but here's the thing. Look at Joey Bosa. He was getting paid way too much money. We couldn't continue paying him. He was way overpaid for what he did production-wise, so we had to let him go. So, again, prove-it contracts are a big thing. And, again, it's sort of sad because you're seeing like J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins really wants his bag, but he's probably not going to get it. Not with the Chargers, at least. Yes, he did great, but his injury issues are going to be following him forever in the NFL. And, unfortunately, it's part of the game. It is what it is.
Even the one thing, too, on top of that, you go to Joe Ortiz and his philosophy. He loves comp picks.
He loves comp
picks. Contracts.
Yep.
Great comp picks. They signed somewhere else, comp pick. We got so many 6th-round picks this year. It's insane to see what we got this year. And on top of that, going back to NFL Mike's philosophy and what Joe Ortiz is trying to achieve, he's trying to achieve a quality Super Bowl caliber team through the draft.
Yeah. Yep.
We got a 1-year sample thus far as a draft, and that draft hit pretty well for us.
Great.
You know what? Obviously, with the Joe Alt, wasn't most sexiest of pick, but guess what? Worked out well. The whole Lad McConkey, that worked out extremely well. Then you go back to Tarheeb Still, Cam Hart, that hit really well. Let's just say
so good. Yeah, it was so good. Not to cut you off, it was so good. I'm not even just saying it was good, guys.
Yeah,
we had the best draft in the NFL last year.
It's phenomenal. And the way I view it as is if you hit 50% of your picks, that is an absolute stellar draft. If Junior Colston comes through this year, and then let's say Justin Aboigbe shows up and becomes a big part of the defensive line, that is an absolute one of our best drafts that we've ever had. Cooking, no doubt.
So kind of crazy. I was just looking at Andre James's contract. He's only getting paid 1.17. Yeah, he's getting paid like nothing. And Conklin is $3 million. He's getting almost as much as Mike. Well, he's getting as much as Michael.
That's the one thing that I go, like, Tyler Conklin is a good ad. I think he's a good depth ad, and he also is good for the scheme when you talk about a guy that can both contribute in the blocking and then leak out as a receiver and be a yak guy. He's way better than Will Dissly at that kind of stuff. Trust me.
For sure.
But this is not. This is a position that Harbaugh has focused on his entire career.
Yeah,
and the other Harbaugh. And the daddy Harbaugh. All the Harbaughs have loved tight ends. It's very suspicious to me that we kind of didn't make any kind of big like starting like star caliber tight end move with any of the cap space. And that's why like some of these tight ends in the draft I'm really looking at closely.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. I think Colston Loveland, if he's available, I think he'll probably be scooped up for sure. I mean, that guy's amazing, but we'll see what happens. All right, so we got Aether. We got Aether, little super chat.
Super chat. Let's go.
Hey, I want to say I want Keenan Allen back because I want to see Ladd play outside. Remember, yeah, exactly. When and Cooper did that with the Rams in the Super Bowl playoffs, he killed it. I agree. Actually, Ladd can play the outside a lot. He plays the X also, so they could run. Yeah. Anyways, great point, Aether. I didn't really think of it that way.
Well, it's interesting because I looked at like his NFL draft buzz for Ladd McConkey just to kind of see how they categorize him as a wide receiver. They put him as a multi-position wide receiver. He can play anywhere on the
field. Outside too. I think they both play outside. I think they both play outside.
They could.
Yeah, for sure.
Keenan Allen plays outside too, and it works. It's not going to be that big of a problem because of these guys' versatility. No one here is strictly a slot receiver. We're not talking about Elijah Moore, guys. We're talking about Keenan Allen and Ladd McConkey. They're ballers.
Dude, more weapons the merrier, I think, for all the Chargers fans. If we got a lot of wide receivers out there, if we draft really well, let's say we go out and get a big tight end, which we will chat about some guys that we have met with. You add like a nice solid tight end weapon too. This could just be a dangerous looking offense all around. So
one more thought. Do you think are we comfortable with the team today? If we had to start today, are we comfortable with the team not adding any players?
Yeah,
I think so.
I think we win 11 games again, easy.
Yeah, and I just think the rookies are just going to add depth when injuries start happening.
I think if we start today, the freaking Broncos and Raiders are going to have a tough time.
Yeah,
they might want to draft class.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I guess that's my point, right? I think we're bringing in depth. We're bringing in players that can continue to just add depth. I mean, look what happened when our cornerbacks went down. Tarheeb Still and Cam Hart came in. They did great. So we just got to add more players, more depth, and then available to just bring in some more value.
I think an interesting thing is going to be if they do add Keenan Allen, right? I think they're still going to draft a receiver, just not in the first 3 rounds. It's going to be in the 3rd day of the draft. If they draft a receiver and they add Keenan Allen, like, is QJ on the trade block? Is QJ just on the deep in the depth chart? I don't think he's getting cut. All that talk last year was crazy, but this year I think it's still even crazier because he had a solid season, just still not quite what we need out of 21st overall pick. What would QJ's position be in that? That's the guy I worry about. Like, I'm not worried about how Keenan and Ladd work together. That's going to be amazing. That's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
How's QJ and Mike work together? How's QJ and the guy that Harbaugh handpicked work together? Yeah. How does Brendan Rice fit into this equation with Quentin Johnston at the edge of the roster? Yeah. Like, are we going to see Quentin Johnston end up being the SOL guy in this and either traded or just unused?
Well, yeah, he could get cut too. I mean, that's the sad part, right? Who knows?
He's got value. They have to trade him. If they cut him, that's insane.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
That'll be tough one to swallow.
You could get him
at the minimum. Call Baltimore up. I think Baltimore would like him.
Well, I mean, but see, it's a nice problem to have too. And I did this video on the offensive lineman. Think about it. We got Mekhi Becton. Now we got 2 centers. Technically a third if you want to throw in Zion Johnson, because Zion could potentially play center. Well, at least they're talking about him playing center. But then, do you trade Trey Pipkins or do you trade away, another center that we have? Maybe one of these centers gets hurt. Maybe a right tackle gets hurt. Oh, I want Pipkins now. Great. Give us a 5th round pick in the draft or something like that, right? Maybe there's somebody's not available for them. So I'm just saying it's better to stack as many players as you can, and injuries start piling up as they happen during camp. And then, oh man, I got to get somebody. All right. Chargers got a bunch of, players available. The stack more picks, or trade for somebody or whatever. I mean, I guess I'm saying this. If I was the GM, I would be exactly what Joe Ortiz is doing. He and we are like 100% thinking perfectly. I mean, I think perfectly all day. You know that, right, James? I mean, look, let's just face it. I am the bolt bro that has all the intelligence, right? I'm just saying.
Oh, get out of here. Get out of here. Nope.
Yeah.
Back into the family, that's where you get the best attribute. Later on, second to last. Here you go, and then Kyle's the last.
The Kyle's the last.
He's the last. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
But we're excited about the season, and it's interesting. And I know we chatted briefly about this. Win-loss records. I mean, what did we get? 11 wins last year when we were being slated to only have 8.5 wins last year. Guess what? Chargers are slated now to do 10.5 over and under this upcoming season. Expectations are higher, boys. Harbaugh delivered. Harbaugh delivered. And now we're way up at the top now, guys, and only a 1-game difference between being at the top of the AFC conference. What say you, El, about this? I mean, this is pretty big.
I think it makes sense. I think 11 wins makes sense. We're gonna have a much harder schedule, but I think 11 makes sense. Do we win the division? That's my question.
Yeah,
that is
the question. Can we get the upgrades in the right spot? Does the Mekhi Becton add? Does, going to that more style, that physical style running back that Harbaugh wants in Najee Harris? Does another draft class give us just, that touchdown edge that we need to beat those guys once? I don't know, baby. Like I'm here for it. If these guys are going to start getting my hopes up, then I'm going to get my own hopes up for sure.
Well, I'll say this.
Last year, everyone was like, why the hell are the Chargers listed as the second highest team in the AFC West? And I was like, looking at everyone like, are you crazy? Jim Harbaugh joined our team. Who are you? Is anyone paying attention to this? And this is a lot better. I think that was at like 8 wins or something. That wasn't even that crazy.
Well, but I also think our defense is going to be good this year. Everyone's talking about we need pass rushers. Look, I think Tuli's going to step up. Khalil Mack will be there. I do think we drafted pass rusher for sure. Obviously, we need more there, but you're always going to want more. I guess that's the one thing that's interesting about the NFL. You can't just buy a team like the Dodgers did this year, right? The Dodgers are going to be unbeatable in baseball, but it's different in the NFL. You have to be smart. You have to figure out. You have to get some depth. So I think you're always going to want more and more players, but man, I feel, let me just say this. I feel very comfortable where we're at right now. And then we already know that this coaching staff and our scouting staff can pick value in the draft. 10 picks, guys. 10 picks.
And it's a little bit over. 10 is a lot. And it's a little bit overblown too, I think, because we are in a sad reality. And it hurts for me to say this because I love Joey Bosa. He's one of my favorite players. I was a kid when he joined the team, and now I'm a freaking adult that he left the team. We're in a reality and in a situation where Bud Dupree can do what Joey Bosa can do for us. It's unfortunate. We're not losing that much off the D-line. It's going to be a similar D-line with some more young horses. So let's go.
It's a good D-line draft too. We can get value.
Deshaun Hand and what he was able to do with the Dolphins.
I actually like this tape.
Very good.
I think he looks really good. I love Tierre Tartan. That pickup was an absolute phenomenal pickup last season. We're adding a lot of nastiness to the inside D-line. And we also talked about I did a video on Friday about Tony Jefferson being asked to reach out to Calais Campbell. Now, Calais Campbell's the #1 defensive tackle in the league, even at 38 years old last season against the run. Add him in, mesh Calais Campbell to this whole entire defensive line. It will be an extremely stout D-line all around. So it'll be fun to watch this D-line and how it works.
And they're going to rotate players in and out too. So
big time.
That's what they did last year as well. Actually, it's interesting. I think speaking of which, Matlock had, I think, 2 or 3 times more snaps on the offensive side of the ball than he did on the defensive side of the ball. So it could be interesting to see if Matlock just pretty much just stays on the offensive side of the ball this season. So we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot of talking about draft already. Talk draft. And, we got some players that the Chargers have met with. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be at 22 for these players for our first pick, but these are players that we have met with. The Chargers have met with in various ways, combine to pro days to, even to some of the bowl games and everything that have come around. But these are just some of the top players that we have seen thus far that the Chargers have spoke with. So I'm excited about it. And I think we're less than a month away from the NFL draft to know what we do with our 10 picks. If we truly pick 10 players this draft, who knows? But it would be nice to be able to get 10 new, fresh players on this team. So let's jump right into it and just hit a grand slam right from the get-go. If you get him at 22, Ashton Jeanty, Boise State running back. I mean, if you watched anything in college football, what this guy did, home run hitter every game, a guy that actually will get you a true thunder, I would say more of a lightning element to your whole entire running game.
And all of it. Yeah. Thunder, the lightning, the
last year, 2 million. Like, what is going on here? But Ashton Jeanty at 22, if you got him, that would be phenomenal. But it's probably not going to happen, in my opinion. But
Yeah, yeah. So I know Rob DeSneak says the Faders are probably going to get Jeanty. By the way, just so you know, who has sold Boise State pretty much their entire IT infrastructure?
No, this guy. Here we go. He's using his brain again.
Andrew Sawyer, the
big
Volpo right
brain.
here.
Okay, all right.
I sold them millions of dollars worth of infrastructure. So I've been on the surf many times.
You should hack into something here. Do something to.
I should figure that out. Yeah. So. No, but I
like,
my
oh my god, this leaked about Ashton Jeanty. He fell to 22. The IT guys, Boise State, they're at fault.
But yes, I was there every month. Had good conversations with them. Just say just little tidbit of information. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
if he falls to 22, I'm all in, guys. I'm all in.
That card
I mean, geez, that would be insane.
But here's the thing, we would want him. Do you think about that? Now, I wonder if Najee Harris would be upset about that, though. He probably would be. Having said that, he's got to understand he'll be fresh for next year wherever he signs again, and he'll be okay, right? And then you got Jeanty. They're just probably trade reps. That's it.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I mean, go back to it.
Yeah.
Najee signed a 1-year deal, right? It's committed for 1 year. I mean, there is a longer-term plan. I mean, just go back to our conversation. We want to have a longer-term player set through the draft.
Yeah.
If we go out there and get an Ashton Jeanty, he's your future back from this point on. Now, once again, you could even go back and dig into J.K. Dobbins if you really want to be able to just put him as a 2. I mean, I don't know if Kamani Vidal is truly an RB2 at this point. But you get a guy like this, go think about the Lions and what they got there with Montgomery and oh my gosh, what's his name? The other running back there.
Gibbs.
Yeah.
And they stretched for him. He was supposed to go like second round, early third. And anyways.
It would be great. I would love to see Jeanty, but NFL Mike, I want to hear your thoughts on this.
Kyle. Kyle's in here. Hey, Kyle, we did talk about you being in your electric green mankini on the cruise ship. So that's not a good look. Not a good look.
Throw a photo up on the YouTube channel. Hit it on that.
It'll probably get blocked. We'll probably get blocked. You know what I mean? It's not good.
Yeah.
Might get around international waters, Kyle. We ain't going to spend the money to go get you. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay,
this is a good time to remind everyone to subscribe, not unsubscribe.
There you go. Subscribe, not unsubscribe. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you, Mike.
No, I think that if he's there at 22 and the Chargers picked him, I would be absolutely thrilled. That would be one of the most insane things I could possibly think of happening in this NFL draft coming up. I don't think he'll be there at 22. I don't think the Chargers think he'll be there at 22. It wouldn't make sense to just pay Najee Harris to watch Ashton Jeanty light up the league from the sideline, $10 million. So it is really, I know he only signed a 1-year deal, and it's a prove it deal. It's very much so that this doesn't work out, we're going to be able to move on right away. But I think the Chargers want it to work out with Najee. And I think they want to have a 1-2 punch with Najee and someone else. We're going to see who that's going to be over the rest of the offseason. I think that's what the goal is long term, that this is not in the plan, but maybe they're doing their homework just in case. You never know.
All it is.
Crazy things happen in the NFL draft. And like I said, crazy things come out right before the NFL draft.
Big time.
This is a dirty, shady business, guys.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. Literally, a video of you in a gas mask ripping could just leak 10 minutes before the draft. It could happen.
Dude.
Because it has. So
that was the wildest thing.
They're doing their homework. This guy's a superstar. He's going to go inside the top 10. I hope it's not to the Raiders because I don't want to see him play for the Raiders. But I also don't want to see the Raiders ruin him because I know that there's going to be some elements of that even if he's a superstar, they're not going to maximize his potential as an NFL player. I want to see him go to the Bears.
Yeah. And there has been some mocks that he's going to the Bears, obviously to the Raiders. And you go and think about the Raiders and how many high draft picks they've had and just destroyed these dudes' careers. I mean, Brock Bowers is the one that's been great for him in one season thus far. But I mean, the Raiders they got a lot of other issues they got to deal with. I don't think Geno Smith's the guy over there still, by the way.
Yeah.
So
their issues got issues, dude. By the way, speaking of which, Roland, funny story about that. Kyle and I were actually stuck on a cruise ship in the Gulf of America, right behind Hurricane Dorian. We got 2 free days out in sea. So we had plenty more time in our mankinis out there at that time. So it was a good time for us, But
3 days out at sea, stuck hostage out at sea, whatever you want.
hey, all kinds of shrimp and crabs. No big deal. It's all good. It's all good.
My flight got 2 extra hours, 3 hours of flight time.
No way.
but it was the Gulf of Mexico at that time. Now it's the Gulf of America. Thank you for making that correct. That's exciting. It's exciting.
Part of history.
Yes, exactly. All right, James. Here we go.
Aether with another $9.99 super chat, my guy. Appreciate it, my guy. So James, he hit me with a James, my baby. I'm sorry. I'd say the Chargers fan will hate me for this. My coach and GM will go guard in round 2, not round 1.
Okay.
They do not trust anyone left side. What is your thoughts? And NFL Mike want to hear. I mean, it would be Tyler Booker. I pretty much would be the best guard in this draft, I believe. And I have seen him he is falling into the second round from what I'm seeing. Zion Johnson, I mean, if you look at how the O-line's being constructed right now, there's competition on every single level outside of the 2 tackles at this point. We know our tackles are great. Slater, they got it all completely locked down. But I do feel like they need a threat for Zion to push him. Iron sharpens iron, right?
Yeah.
And another guy out there to basically push him to make him a little bit better. Now, you could even say Bradley Bozeman has played guard. You could put him in guard if you want to. He's not going to be the center. You can move guys around a little bit too. Pipkins, we'll see where he's going to be at in this situation too, but he's a rotational guy. You could put it tackle and you could put it guard too with him. So there's a lot to be said in what could happen there too. So we'll see, but NFL Mike, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I will say I will never be shocked when Harbaugh picks a lineman on either side of the ball. That'll never be a surprising pick to me at any spot, at any draft, at any time in the history of time.
And offensive lineman, that's what he's going to do.
I would not be surprised, but
I want all the big guys.
I don't think I would do it. I think I would wait if I'm going to draft guys like that to push other guys up into my starting lineup and give them competition. I would use those picks on more riskier picks later on in the draft, and I will be trying to land like home run superstar players in my first 2 picks, my first 2 rounds. We got Ladd McConkey in round 2 last year. We're trying to beat that this year. So I don't know if we're going to do that at guard. Also, I don't know if the top guard in the draft will be available in the second round. I don't know if that will be true. We'd probably be drafting the second or third best guard at that point. No, I don't think so, Thier. I wouldn't think so. I think it's going to be D-line more likely than O-line if they draft in round 2 the line and in round 1. Don't take D-line off the table in round 1.
Nope, not at all. I mean, it's I always go back to Bobby Ross, our one head coach that got us to the Super Bowl. He said you win and lose games at the line, man. It's all about the lines. If you get a solid, stout D-line with a solid O-line, each one of those guys are battling every single week with each other. Make them stronger, make them better. And I mean, those lines are how you win and lose games, period. So
big time.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You got to tenderize that meat. Remember, boys, we got to tenderize that meat. And since he doesn't want me to, comment, I'll let that one go. We just tenderize that meat. Go for the bolts. I like that. I like that.
The bolts. Let's go.
Bolts. I like that. Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Moving on to one of the other players that the Chargers have met with. I'm going to keep the running backs in the group. I'm going to keep all the other players in a group based upon positions. Okay. But once again, here's another running back the Chargers have met with, Ollie Gordon from Oklahoma State. It's when you watch his highlights, man, the guy could be physical. The guy could run outside. He's not the fastest of guys that can the 4.6 type range speed. I kind of feel like sometimes full padded on field footage, in-game footage makes way more sense than, just running a straight line in your underwear, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Big difference. Big difference.
Sounds like a good Friday night to me. I tell you what.
Running a straight line in your underwear.
Absolutely. It's fun for the whole family. Nope, there's nothing wrong with that.
That's called streaking almost, in a sense. But,
it is. That's what I'm saying.
Let's go. But Ollie Gordon, I mean, he would be a pretty good pickup. Once again, it's going to be kind of a latter part of the draft, in my opinion. But he's a guy that could catch the ball. The guy can run outside, inside, be physical. A guy that is a big, stout dude all around, too. So Ollie Gordon is a guy out there. But are you ready to have another running back with the name Gordon on the back? That's the real question here, guys.
That's true, huh?
Are you
ready? He wears that 0. Yeah, I'm in. If he wears that 0 in the NFL, I'm in.
You're taking that away from the Ranger, man. You're taking away that from Deion Henley.
Oh, shoot, I'm stupid. All right, then let's go. Take it from Quentin. Put on one.
Quentin, there you go.
We give him one?
Take him a one.
I just want a running back in a single digit, man. That's electric. I want a Bijan. I wanted that 5. Like, even he isn't wearing 5 because Drake London.
That's
Ryan
right.
Ryan Matthews. What a mess that guy was too.
Yeah, I mean, I think this would be an exciting pickup, and he fits the Harbaugh running back that you'd be looking for, the prototypical guy. They brought him in for a visit, so that means that they're definitely interested. He's in the range, I think, more where they'll be looking at running back in the draft. It would make sense to me if they.
It's a deep draft for running backs, man. I'm very, very confident this draft is going to be able to find some really good gems late rounds.
I think we also met with DJ Giddens from K-State, if I remember correctly, as well too. Yep. So again, we met with a lot of players. A lot of players. I personally think we're going to get best available player. Period. Right? I mean, obviously, if we have too many players, they might say, "Well, okay, we don't need another offensive lineman or whatever." But I think they're just going to stack. They're going to stack as much as they can. And guys, remember what they did last year too? Every injury, you'd go out and get another player, put them on the IR, and you had more players. I think we had almost 30 people on our practice squad and injured reserve towards the end of the season. 30 extra players. That's crazy to me. So yeah, we're going to hoard players as much as possible, and clearly that's the plan moving forward.
Yeah, and once again, the players that we're highlighting are just some of the players that they've met with. They've met with a ton of players thus far. We have a huge list that we could even make individual videos on them too. But these are just players that are just kind of like positions of possible needs for the Chargers. And that's where we're looking at. And can they be a fit? Now, I'll move on to the next guy who's a local guy here for me in Arizona. Let's go.
Fun name to say, too, Skattebo.
Dude, and the great thing about him, and if you watched any of his games, just a physical specimen. A guy that will basically hit you right in the mouth. A guy that will put you low. He'll go straight head-to-head with you, lower his pads, and just rock you. And to me, when I always look at him, he's always a guy that I always feel like it screams Harbaugh every time I look at him. Just a big physical guy. He also had 110 missed tackles last season too.
Yeah.
Which is unbelievable. So he could be kind of a shifty, kind of a guy that basically is going to be very tough to be able to bring down. I would love it to be able to see him here. And you could probably get him in the 3rd round. Recently, he did do his 40-yard dash. He got 4.57, so he's not a burner by any means, but I don't think that's his game. That's not his game at all.
Yeah. And also, goal line. He's solid receiver, man. I've seen him make some catches. He's got some soft heads. It's like Peyton Hillis meets CMC. Cam Skattebo. That's a
perfect blend.
Love child right there between Peyton Hillis and CMC. Yeah, and like you're saying about it being a Harbaugh guy. Like, just when you watch this guy play, he's just on the sideline, just always like just seems like something's just going through his head. Like he's just pissed off, ready to just kill somebody, ready to go run someone over. And you just feel like in the interview room, Harbaugh and this guy probably gel a lot when they're talking.
Oh, it'd be great. He's a football guy, man, and I love it. And he went from UC Davis to ASU, and a guy that basically went to a bigger school. And you know what? Obviously, they did some great things in the playoffs too. Don't even knock him on his throwing ability, because he did throw a touchdown while having his flu game against Texas, by the way, too.
Cracked on that, too.
Dude, crazy, right? Crazy.
Still threw a dime.
That was awesome, dude. I mean, this guy's a weapon all throughout. Now, the way I feel with if you get Skattebo to basically the Chargers, you put him with Najee Harris, who had 70 missed tackles last season, too, while being a running back. You get 2 guys that are very difficult to be able to put down. That's great. That's exactly, I think, what the Chargers want. Once again, Najee does have speed. I don't think he's been able to show it with the Steelers. I don't think they've had a quarterback that could really back their running game to really showcase his speed. But I do think when you get 2 backs that are going to be very difficult to be able to bring down, it's going to be a super, super physical type game all around with this team. So that's what the Chargers want. I think that's what Harbaugh wants. I think he fits perfectly for this team.
Again, I said it earlier. I'm going to say it again. Tenderize that meat, dude. I tell you what, just hit that 180-pound, cornerback right down low in his pads. He's like, I don't want none of that no more. Skattebo seems like a guy that he pours a bowl of nails and then milk on top and eats that for breakfast, right? He just seems like one of those guys that eats glass for breakfast or whatever. Just, kind of a freak of nature. Anyways, but you're right. He's a Harbaugh guy. That's what I see with him.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. I would cheer him getting picked up, but I think that Ortiz and Harbaugh are still going to go a different direction. Although they are meeting with him. They had a chance to bring Eckler back. I know it's not the same at all.
No.
They had a chance to bring JK back. There's kind of a theme here that they don't really want a smaller build running back there. And there's a reason for it. All the smaller build running backs that are beasts like Christian McCaffrey get injured a lot. Their bodies can't handle the wear and tear of the style of offense that Harbaugh is going to demand. I think that they're going to want someone, if they're drafting someone, in the second round, third round, the range that we're talking here with Skattebo, fourth round, maybe even if he starts to slide. Like I like Michigan's running back even as a better fit than Skattebo with Najee, since we already kind of have the bruiser and Najee, or if you get like that freak athletic running back out of Tennessee, Dylan Sampson. I'm a big fan of him. There's a couple other guys that are a little bit more like they could take it to the house on any given play, more so than we're going to pick up 4th and 2. And I think that that's what we need to add to the backfield. We've already got that with Najee.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of Trayvon Henderson from Ohio State. I think he's one of those guys that could truly take it to the house at any moment in time. Speed is awesome.
Jaden Blues, I know that Jaden Blues got all the concerns, but man, I want to take a chance on someone that could turn into a superstar running back. That guy could be the next Jahmyr Gibbs right there.
Yeah, he has a lot of talent. Yeah, again, there's going to be a lot of options.
So many. You guys need to get my friend one week on here, Tony Tucker. He used to host another show with me. He keeps calling me like every week with a new list of running backs. I think he's up to like 45 running backs in this year's draft class. I'm like, you realize they're not all going to be picked. Running backs are going to be like every pick of the 5th round.
Yeah, Quinshon Judkins. I mean, dude, it's going to be crazy. But again, I think to your point though, I guess. All right, so maybe we should ask the chat this as well too. Is Skattebo the type of guy that the Chargers want? I mean, look, the fact is, he's just a dog. He's a steamroller, right?
Yeah.
And you're road grader. You're just moving the ball downhill. It seems to fit, but then you kind of want that scat back as well too. Someone kind of like an Austin Eckler type as well. So do you go run with 3 running backs or just 2 running backs? Who knows? So we'll see what everybody says here.
If history repeats itself, I feel like last year Gus Edwards was the Thunder. And then J.K. Dobbins was the Lightning. And we couldn't keep the Thunder on the field and play very consistently for us. So
something tells me in my heart that Donovan Edwards is going to slide way in the draft. He's going to.
I can see that too.
The Chargers are going to pick him with one of their day 3 picks, like one of the first day 3 picks of the first pick of the 5th round. First, I don't know when we're picking, but our first pick of the 3rd day goes that way or something. Like I don't know. I just got something gut in my feeling that we're going to have him on our team.
Totally. And I've seen a lot of mocks having him in the 7th round. Now, once again, the mocks don't really
it's hard to tell
truly how it is. But I could totally see him being there. So it makes sense. Bring another Michigan man over, right? Michigan man. But let's move on to another player here that everybody once again has chatted about. It's almost a pipe dream to get to 22 at this point. But Tyler Warren from Penn State. I mean, 6'6", 256, tight end, absolutely just menace to be able to have him on the field. Think about him if he's lined up next to like Joel Slater, just huge guys there. And it would be an absolute phenomenal pickup for us. But this he's probably going top 10 in my opinion. I mean, a lot of people don't really look at a lot of tight ends. I think a lot of people after the Kyle Pitts, pick 5 type situation, they get scared to pick tight ends that high and everything like that. But once again, this guy could be an absolute menace for this team too. And Chargers have met with him. It was at the Combine too, so they chatted with him and everything too. But pipe dream all around, unless we find a way to trade up to this point. I mean, this would give Herbert an absolute weapon for a tight end for years and years and years. Blocking, receiving, it would be a perfect situation with Tyler Warren.
Yeah, it's another one like Jeanty, where it's like if he falls to 22, I will be absolutely thrilled about it. Yeah. I don't know if I want the Chargers to trade up to where they would need to trade up to get him, though.
Yeah.
Because I think in order to be worth a trade up, it needs to be like the most important position on the field. And when we talk about trading into the top 10, it's going to cost a lot. And then also the second thing is, I think what made Brock Bowers a successful pick, and he isn't even a successful pick yet because they doubled up at tight end. By the way, don't take the Raiders off the board at 6 to draft a tight end. They might take Tyler Warren. They might.
3 years in a row then. 3 years in a row.
Oh, it wouldn't shock me.
And Raiders fans will convince you it's smart. They'll try and convince you this is the right move. But anyways, so they'll take them off the board. I don't think that he has the Brock Bowers like yak ability. It's not that quite like where he's just untouchable once he gets the ball in his hands. Also, he is a monster receiver and an insane blocker. It is like a George Kittle with 3 inches. It's insane. This guy's freaking monster. But yeah, I don't know if he's necessarily going to be as much of the monster receiver at the NFL level that Brock Bowers is. So teams better be careful at the top of the draft because he couldn't have been a great player. He couldn't have been TJ Hawkinson style of tight end. I don't think TJ Hawkinson should be a top 10 pick personally. I think that it has to be like a Hall of Fame level tight end to be a top 10 pick. And I like that all this conversation about tight end is so controversial because I still want the Chargers at 22 to go tight end. So with all that being said,
well, the one thing you have to remember too is every team runs a different offense and every team runs a different defense as well too, right? So they value players differently. Like a good example, when I think of like a tight end, you have tight ends like Fisk, who is a blocking tight end, Disley, blocking tight end. They are literally there to just lock the C gap down. This guy catches the ball and is a decent blocking tight end. Colston Loveland is a good blocking tight end and a very good pass catching tight end. So everyone's going to value them at a different level. Even defensive linemen, right? You're not asking for sacks. We're asking for block destruction on defensive line. So I'm just saying when people drop, they're not necessarily dropping because they're bad. They just don't fit the need of what that team needs right then. They may be selecting something over something else, right? So again, everyone always says, well, he might not drop. Anything can happen in the draft, man. I've seen people drop Aaron Rodgers dropped way down, right?
Yeah. And I've seen some crazy, like all the tight ends right now, in my opinion, that are aging are on the trade market in a way. I think George Kittle's on the trade market in a way. I think that Dallas Goedert, is he still on their team? Did they cut him officially? These tight ends are getting older.
Yeah, I think they signed him.
Teams are willing to do a situation where they go, you know what? Let's trade our guy out of here for a 3rd round pick and then draft Warren. Put him in there.
Yeah.
Well, so the rumor with Goddard is he might be trade bait during the draft. So they might say, okay, we'll trade you Goddard, and then we get a higher pick or something of that nature.
I could see that being QJ and Trey Pipkins too. Watch out for that on our end.
Exactly correct.
Either one of those guys, if there's a real player that Harbaugh wants more than anything, and it's like, this is it, this is going to get the deal done, they might do it.
Speaking of that, we'll move on to the next guy here, who's probably a Harbaugh guy, right? We all know him, right? Colston Loveland. Michigan man. It makes sense, right? I mean, there's a legitimate chance it could get there to 22.
I think
not sure if it's going to happen or not, but Chargers have met with him. They met with him actually at the combine, briefly just chatted with Jim Harbaugh during that time, but then they also did have a top 30 meeting with him at the Bolt. So once again, Michigan man, this is a guy that we've talked about, I think even to say last year as a tight end. Before the whole draft was even talking about, this was a guy that everybody wanted the Chargers to go after too. Now here he is, and we have a legitimate chance to be able to get a guy who's an absolute great tight end to be able to have for you. I've been hearing a little bit about that his blocking is not as good as you would anticipate, but one person brought up in his example, Sam Laporta, when he was initially drafted, he was not known for his blocking game, and you see what he's done with the Lions. I mean, everybody has to block with the Lions system. It's the same thing with the Charger system. So what's your thoughts on that, NFL Mike? Colston Loveland at 22.
It's very consistent. Yeah, it's very consistent to what I said before. Like, that's what takes Sam Laporta to the next level. It's not going to be his crazy blocking ability because we can get that out of a guy that big and that strong. That's what takes Trey McBride to the next level. It's not his blocking ability. He's not like, he's an amazing route runner for a tight end, but all the tight ends are becoming great route runners at that level. It's not that, it's that yak ability. When you get the ball in your hands, are you a receiver or are you a tight end? And these few guys, Brock Bowers have separated themselves. They can move like receivers. And that's just the new age of football that we're moving into. And I feel like this guy is built for it. Picture perfect.
Yep.
Absolutely will be a home run pick if we can get him at 22. If he falls into the late teens and the Chargers had to give up another pick to move up, I would be happy about it. That's basically the only trade up scenario that I'm super excited about, where it's not that we have to spend a bunch of draft capital to move up. We can move up just a few picks just to make sure we get this guy. I think that when we talk about what's left for them to address in the offseason too, yeah, we need to get another receiver. Yeah, we need to get another running back. I think the O-line's good. Yeah, we need to add to the D-line. This is like the spot where we can add a superstar and make the biggest impact for not just this year, but next year and the year after in the Harbaugh system. And like I said earlier in the show too, to go full circle, it's just been too quiet at that position for 2 straight years. That's just not their philosophy. It's not their philosophy. So they have plans, I think.
Yeah.
I think they do.
I would also say this too. We're missing targets in the end zone, right? In the red zone, right? You know, we didn't have Parham. He was a horrible blocker. We all know he's a terrible blocker, but we need guys that can work the end zone, right? That's Mike Williams. That could be this guy. That could be, I mean, hopefully QJ at some point can figure out how to do it better, right? You know, Keenan Allen, obviously we know Keenan Allen has great moves. My point is, we weren't that great in the red zone last season, and a guy like this could immediately elevate you to another level, right? But we all know this 100%, guys. They're gonna draft the best available player at that position. Whoever has slid and who they have hired, they're just gonna get the best available player. They don't care. Now, again, I don't know if you know this, NFL, Mike, but we picked Joe Alt last season, number 1, right? Obviously number 5, but they said if he wasn't available, we were going to get Brian Thomas.
Yeah,
that's who they wanted, and he slid all the way to the latter end, wasn't he? Or he was at the beginning of the first round. I can't remember now.
It was like 22nd or 26th, or something like that, or something.
So the latter end of the first round, and so I'm just saying, right? Like what we have listed high is very different than what other people have as well. So again, we're not going to be surprised if we see some of these players slip, and then we maybe look like we're reaching for somebody, but again, it's all part of the plan.
It is. It is.
I think he was right too. That Brian Thomas pick would have been the only thing better than Ladd.
Dude, Brian Thomas was incredible.
Yeah,
the only one.
In fact, I was shocked that he slid the way he did. I kept thinking, why is he dropping? And everyone had him dropping. It's kind of like T-Mac. T-Mac's been dropping.
He was dealing with that Neighbors thing, right? They went to school together, so he just had to like be his second fiddle almost in college. But they're similar level guys.
Yeah, and I think Neighbors. I think they had some concerns with Neighbors' attitude. I really think
the Chargers.
The Chargers. That's my opinion. Now, here I do have a question for you. Let's say T-Mac is available and Colston Loveland's available. Who do you go after? Or maybe even Matthew Golden, right? You got Matthew Golden, Colston Loveland, and T-Mac. Who do you go with?
And I'm picking?
Yeah. And you're picking?
I'm picking Loveland.
You would? Okay.
100%. Lock it in. I'm picking Loveland, yeah.
And what do you guys think in the chat? Same scenario. Because I do think that could happen, right? I mean, there's a chance. T-Mac keeps slipping. I have no idea why he keeps dropping. Well, everyone talks about his speed and other things, but I'm just saying, guys, like it could happen. Could happen.
Yeah, I mean, and to NFL Mike's point, I mean, why would you not go after Colston when you'd say, hey, we get that solid tight end for years and years and years to come? Like, be that guy, be that Mark Andrews of your offense, essentially. The guy that's been with the team for years and years and years. We have not had
Vernon Davis. Be our Vernon Davis.
Vernon Davis, exactly. That's another way to put it as, too. I mean, it's just, we need that. And I think Colston Loveland would be a great fit, too. Now, I'm going to move on to the next guy, another tight end that I've seen in multiple mocks that I personally feel fit a lot more ways than one, size-wise, blocking-wise, kind of how I think they view what a tight end is. But Mason Taylor from LSU. And the reason why I say, you look at him, I don't think we're going to see 1,000-yard tight end in this offense, period. Like, I just don't think that's a thing that we're going to see with this offense. We're looking to find size, a guy that could block, a guy that could be a multi-position type guy for you, guy that could catch the ball and be consistent with catching the ball. And if you even look at what the Chargers currently have, Will Dissly did way more than he was even asked for and why he was even picked up for the Chargers, and did well with us as a pass catching tight end. Tyler Conklin's a guy that'll get you 500 yards. We could essentially get about 1,000 yards from our tight ends currently at this moment right now. But when you start looking at, say, like a Mason Taylor for the long term, he's a 6'5", 251-pound tight end, a guy that basically is a pedigree where his dad, Jason Taylor, was in the NFL, not a tight end, but an NFL player and everything too. Guy had 55 receptions, 546 yards, 2 touchdowns. Average catch is about 9.9 yards. This guy is built, in my opinion, just a stout, solid guy that I think could be an all-around great tight end for this team. So I'd like to be able to hear from you guys on that. Once again, the Chargers didn't meet with him.
They did or they didn't?
They did.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, no, that's great. Everything you just said is exactly what I basically have written down for him. But, yeah, he's a guy that fits perfectly too. And he's a great receiver as well, just like Loveland would be. I think another thing with him is he's sliding a little bit more on a lot of boards. He's sliding a little bit more in a lot of drafts, and maybe we could possibly get him in the second round. There's a small chance that or maybe there's a trade up in the second round they can get him, or trade back. Get some extra picks if you still want to go tight end there, and you go, you know what? All the teams after us, none of us need tight. None of them need tight end. This team's got that guy. This team's got that guy. This team just went to the NFC title game. They don't need tight ends. Let's just trade back to 30. Whoever wants these receivers that are right here can come up and try and get one of them. We'll get some extra picks to draft that running back that we want, and boom, we still get our tight end. I think it will be an awesome add to the team. We're kind of just in an awkward spot where we'd have to reach for him specifically at 22.
Yeah, I think so NFL Buzz has him at like the 5th ranked tight end.
Oh, damn, that's even lower than I had him.
Crazy.
Yeah,
you put in Harold Fannin, you put
he's
Arroyo,
not even going to be a first
Arroyo.
round.
Yeah, so he'll probably be a second round now. But here's, I mean, or maybe even early 3rd if he slides. Having said that, dude, he's a great player, and I guess this is kind of why this is partially the argument, right? Do you go after is this a deep wide receiver class in your opinion, or are there more tight ends that you like? Because you could get wide receiver because there's less choices or that you like specifically. And then you wait maybe second round, go get a tight end, right? So what's the strategy on that, right? Because you might be happy with a Mason Taylor. You'd love Colston Loveland, but you might have a wide receiver that you like more, in the first round. But all right, Taylor's good, or Gunnar Helms from Texas. Or, I mean, some of these other guys from Clemson or Notre Dame, the guy from Notre Dame is good too. Mitchell Evans, I thought he was awesome. So I'm just saying that, like, at the end of the day, where are you going to value each individual position within this organization, right? And I think the Tyler Conklin pick makes it a little bit less that we're going to go after Colston Loveland. I know everyone wants him. And again, I saw what everyone said, but I think they're pretty happy with Conklin as well too. So, again, we'll see how it plays out.
I think also I want to keep disclaimering this for Chargers fans, because I hate seeing Chargers fans going on Twitter and bashing the management that has brought us immediate joy back to our franchise in a ninth, basically. You just woke up one morning, you had a good team again after you had Brandon Staley. Like, congratulations, stop complaining, maybe. But all you Chargers fans that are doing that, just be ready mentally in your head for it to be a defensive tackle in the first round.
Yeah.
We all love to talk about the offensive players. There's so many of them to talk about. It's going to 100%. Be a defensive tackle. It's going to be.
Well, and it's kind of ironic because I think pretty much every single player I've chosen on this whole slideshow is actually an offensive player, because people love the splashy players. That's what it is. People love them. And just to move on from the tight ends too, we've obviously had a meeting with Isaiah Bond, wide receiver, the other wide receiver from Texas, who's a speedy guy. And to me, the thing about Isaiah Bond too, like, obviously Matthew Golden, I think, would be a phenomenal pick. I'd love to be able to see more speed at the wide receiver position. This guy is a multi-role type receiver, 4.39 speed. This guy is 5'11", 180, so he's kind of on the smaller side. I mean, even if you look at Ladd McConkey out there, it looks like his helmet. He's got that fat head code from NBA Jams on. Massive looking head out there. But Isaiah Bond could be one of those guys that could just be a speedster for you, a guy that could stretch the field out for you, downfield threat, be a guy that could be somebody you could pick up a little bit later on in the draft too. I mean, I'm seeing it where he's being slated as a 3rd round type pick. We have met with him. Isaiah Bond, what's your thoughts?
I'm all for him, man. I mean, look, I just think it's going to boil down to what they value at that position, at that pick, right? And so again, guys, I'm just saying, like, in Madden terms, You got a 95 on the board. You got a 91, 92. They might just go, okay, we go with the 95 at defensive tackle. And every fan's going to be pissed and say, I hate Jim Harbaugh again. But at the end of the day, guys, every position has to be good. I mean, one thing that Brandon Staley, BS, who we don't like to talk about, said very well, we got to win in all three phases of the game, offense, defense, and special teams. You can't win just having a good offense. Look at what the Bengals are doing right now. Oh, my God. Their offensive line is horrible. They're paying their good wide receivers, and they paid, for a quarterback. But at the end of the day, nobody's going to be protecting the QB, and you're just hoping they're going to outscore the team. Their defense sucks, right? So you can't win that way. Harbaugh doesn't build a team that way. Joe Ortiz is not going to build a team that way. So just saying, again, we're talking about offensive players. I hate to pee on everyone's Cheerios, right? But it is what it is, right? So I'm just telling you, just saying.
I'll get you a new bowl of Cheerios. So that way you
thank you. I appreciate
excited again.
I need that Cheerios, please. Thank you very much.
All that being said, I do think receivers in a position where you take a swing on a risky player that's falling. Yep. You try and pick up somebody that's going to just be the steal of the draft. And I think that could be Isaiah Bond. That could be this kid. I don't know if they're going to be targeting him necessarily, because kind of like we have Ladd to do a lot of stuff that he does when we talk about the starting lineup.
Yep.
I like the guy that you have on the next slide even better as a target for someone that's going to complement our offense and be someone that's one day in our starting lineup, play in, play out, and contribute. I want Trey Harris this meeting to turn into something. That will be fun. I feel like he has some of the same athletics and
Trey Harris.
Same down the field playmaking ability and can run, but he's a little bit bigger and he fits the offense a little bit more. I don't know if we're going to have a bunch of small speedsters. We're not going to turn into the Miami Dolphins.
Yep.
I don't think that's going to happen. Yep. And we already have Darius Davis. We already have Ladd McConkey, and then they re-signed Jalen Reagor, everybody. Yep. That wasn't just, I know no one likes it. No, it happened. It's there. That's three guys that would fit kind of Isaiah Bond's style. And is he better than two out of the three of those guys? Maybe. Yep. I think that this is a direction they'll go more. So I think even receivers later in the draft that are a little bit bigger, that can burn still and make plays down the field and be that one-on-one mismatch we want QJ to be, that we're bringing in Mike Williams to be for one more year. I think that's where they're going to go.
Yep. Yeah. An outside X receiver with Trey Harris, 6'2", 205. Guy's got 4.5 speed. The guy can basically play anywhere and everywhere there too. They're saying he's late second round. Chargers did meet with him at a combine, I believe. Yeah, at the combine. This guy could be solid. This guy could be great. I mean, Brendan Rice is actually one of the player comparisons that they've actually even put him as, which was interesting. But also Jackson Smith and Jigba too is where they compared him as. So this guy could be a long-term player for this team, and I wouldn't be mad at all to see Trey Harris. Now, one other wide receiver that I think is really good, and I like seeing what Steve Smith talks about batches of wide receivers through the NFL draft. One other guy that I didn't put on here and the Chargers have not met with was Jaden Higgins from Iowa State. That guy is actually pretty solid all around. He looks like a great player. He reminds me a lot of, oh my gosh, what's the name? His name is passing me right now. Bucks wide receiver that's been there for absolutely his entire career.
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans. Yeah. Reminds me a lot of Mike Evans too. So, but Trey Harris, I think, would be a very solid guy to be able to have on your team. A guy that could be a good home run hitter, field stretcher, X receiver type guy for you.
Yeah, Trey Harris.
A guy that I like, just throw a name out there. Also, it's going to go way late in the draft because of some issues, some character and injury issues. But Harbaugh is kind of crazy, so he would do something crazy. Dante Thornton Jr. out of Tennessee.
Yes.
6'5", crazy athlete, going over people like crazy, and then ran a 4.39, I believe. I mean, that just doesn't make sense. But he's obviously got a lot of concerns. But that's why I think the Chargers at that position, if you get Keenan Allen now, you don't need the rookie receiver that you draft to play right away. Like you can get him in that development cycle that Brandon Rice is in right now, and let's work their way up.
Yeah, dude, he's 6'5", 205.
That's insane.
I mean, the dude is nuts. Like he's a freak of nature. But you're right. Like again, you do have to wonder does Harbaugh want a guy like that? But yeah, maybe put him on the practice squad, give him another year, see what happens. Hell, we signed a Justin Aboigbe pretty early. Well, we get him in the 4th round, I think, and he was literally a developmental player is what we had him listed as. So, yeah. So I
get the point, like what Eddie's saying in the chat right here. I would never cut Darius Davis for Jalen Reagor, but why would Harbaugh do it? Because Jalen Reagor is an NFL-sized player. That's simple.
Yep.
And that's why I'm worried about some of these other smaller receivers in the draft.
That's exactly right. And Brandon Staley even said it a couple of times with Darius Davis. He's like, he hasn't taken an NFL hit yet. And I'm like, oh, that's a really good point. He's just a weird guy, I mean, and
he's
so
taking it now. I've seen him take a few now, but
I'm just saying, but I mean, look at these big bubbas out here, dude. I mean, hey, these guys eat meatloaf, potatoes, dude. They and they don't skip leg day. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, they're not normal human beings, right? So
he could be such a player, dude. He's just got to get to like Tyreek Hill size.
It's
not even big. It's not even big. It's just got to get buff.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just feed him some meatloaf or something. I don't know. He needs something. I don't know why I keep saying
Harbaugh,
so electric.
Yeah.
Harbaugh's all about the steak and milk diet. That's what he likes eating.
Yeah,
so, get him on that steak and milk.
He's still on that diet. You can tell.
Steak and milk. Guys, I'm on my raw milk diet, dude. I raw milk.
That's it. Raw milk.
Yeah. Don't get me started on Big Udder.
All right, one last player here that we're going to just chat about. Is that
your new nickname, Big Udder? Is that it? Is that your new nickname?
Yeah, the milk industry. Don't get me started.
Oh, God. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Conspiracy theories popping up. Here we go.
Let's go. So one last player here, and I know it's a position that has been acknowledged, but I think we need a long-term commitment here too. So Jared Wilson from Georgia. He's only had 1 year as a college football player at center and everything too, but the guy actually is, 6'3", 310, big guy that could basically be a guy you could development behind basically Bozeman and also Andre James at this point. Learn from two guys all around. He ran a 4.84 40 too, which is kind of wild to see. He's actually one of the top tier type guys in 40 for the O-line and everything too, but his arms are a little short at 32.38. or 32 3/8. But this guy's got a great wingspan, 80-inch wingspan, almost 81 inches wingspan. So he's in the 90 percentile bracket. Jeez. But once again, he's kind of a raw talent that you could get kind of in the later rounds that you could try to hopefully develop to be the long-term commitment at the center position. So, but good player. I like it when we draft guys from big schools that have played in big games. That's my thing. I love going after those Georgia boys, Bama boys, Ohio State. Just get big school guys that are NFL ready. So
yeah, I think the theme that the Chargers are going with for this training camp on the interior of the offensive line that I like, because the interior of our offensive line struggled a lot last year, is they're just putting everyone in there and they're just saying, hey, there's a job or two available. Like, who's the best? Let's compete. Who's going to fight for this spot, for this one guard spot? And then who's going to play center for our offensive line this year? And they've put in 3 or 4 guys already that can battle for those 2 spots. And if they keep drafting guys towards that position, we're going to find them. We're going to find them. And then we're going to have 5 amazing starters on the offensive line by 2026, 2027 timeframe. It's going to be beautiful, guys.
Love it.
See the process through. I love it. I would like this pick because it just adds more to it. Like, we need competition right there right now. If it's going to be Zion Johnson, he needs to beat some guys out for it.
Yeah. Interesting. NFL Draft Buzz has him actually ranked the highest center in the NFL draft, which I think is a little high. But I think it's because of Jake Mazer. I think it's largely just his physical abilities, right? But I think Jake Mazer is just probably more NFL ready for sure. So, and I think, and I will say this blanket statement about draft picks. Typically, your first pick has to hit, right? Your first pick is a day one starter, no matter what. Right? You cannot pick a guy and go, we're just going to put him on the bench. Then why did you pick him is the question, right? Like, why the hell did you pick him then? You need to get a pick that plays day one. Really, even the second round pick should be at least in the conversation for a starter, position. You got to get third all the way down. Those could be developmental players, right? But the fan base is going to just, eviscerate you if you continue to, not get day one starters out of the first and second pick for sure. And that's really, look, again, everyone's happy with last year's draft because of Joe Alt, number 5 overall. We got a, right tackle. Guy's a stud muffin. You know it. I know it. The NFL knows it, but he sure as hell wasn't sexy, right? Big boy can't dress, and he's worth a lot of money now, right? Remember him in the draft? I was like, oh my god, like what the hell's he wearing, dude? So, anyways, pretty funny.
I think he's sexy. Okay.
I
ain't scared to say it. I ain't scared to say it. Everything's bigger and sexy. Anyway, yeah, I'm pumped, man.
But again, so guys, okay, what do we think? Maybe final thoughts. What do we draft after all of this conversation? What do we draft first? Colston Loveland. I guess everyone's just liking Colston Loveland. I mean, I didn't see anybody say they wanted somebody else.
I think position wise for me, I would want tight end or defensive tackle. But just like last year, dude, I trust them. I trust them, and they proved me right. Like you're talking about drafting starters in the first and second round. We had cornerback ones, 2 of them being drafted in the 5th round.
Yeah,
so get the hell out of here. These guys are going to find the best college football players, and they're going to pick them because we have Jim Harbaugh. We have a super weapon who is ultra familiar with basically anyone that's even thought about going to the NFL draft in the last couple of years and tried to go through college. I'm super excited for another class in here. I think we're going to get 5 more starters.
Yeah, pass rusher would be good too. I wouldn't mind that, right?
I think that's most likely, in my opinion. If I had to put a bet down.
Yep.
Yeah, that does make sense. I like that. Well, again, Justin Aboigbe actually is a defensive lineman and a edge rusher as well too. So could be interesting to see how that plays out. But I don't know. I'm a little indifferent. I think to your point, Mike, I'm kind of cool with whoever they pick, right? Because I think they know what we need. This is what I love and hate about the draft. We get enamored with players. Oh, we've got to get them. We've got to get them, and it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, they know what they really need. We know what we want as a player or as a fan, but that coaching staff knows what they need as players. So,
and if Chargers fans feel bad about the pick, if they're upset, just scroll up on the draft board and just go to the Raiders pick where they pick Tyler Warren, and then you'll laugh again. You'll be happy.
That would be hilarious, by the way. That would be so damn funny. Laughing stock in the NFL. By the way, Kay Adams would be my number 1 pick. I'm saying it right here. She'd be my number 1 pick. That's right, in the draft. That's right. That's a fire pick. Kay Adams coming home.
She's secretly a Chargers fan too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Now that Devontae left the Raiders, she can admit it. So
hey, I'll buy you a steak salad, whatever you want, girl. You just let me know. I get you all the dressing, whatever you need.
I can buy you a steak dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there you go. Yeah, I'll give you the back rub later on. What do you say?
Oh, this guy. Dude.
Now we're talking. She leans in.
Now we're talking.
We are talking. Yes, that's right. Oh my God, it's so funny.
I would say, with draft wise, it's going to be best player available. I mean, if you see the top, and once again, the one thing I love about Joe Ortiz, he talks about not ranking players based upon rounds. He ranks players like top 50 players. Yeah. This is who I'm going with. Whatever round, if this guy's here, I'm going at that round with that one player because it's a fit for the system. He's got a set of players that he wants to go with. He's just going to choose whoever's the best, whoever's at the top of the list. That's going to be our guy. Like, Kenneth Grant would be a Michigan guy. Once again, an interior defensive tackle kind of guy, a guy that could be an absolute menace for that line. But once again, if you go out and get Calais Campbell, you have that 1 year kind of patch kind of guy that you could be that really big, space eater, button gut kind of guy for your D line. So it's crazy. I've been seeing even one other cornerback that's been dropping. Another Michigan guy is Will Johnson, dropping a little bit in the drafts too. And I've even seen him being slated in some mock drafts to be picked at 22, which is, you kind of think about the quarterback room and you're like, well, I mean, Asante is gone. Obviously, Fulton's gone, but you did get 2 studs in the 5th round last year. But do you want one extra guy out there? And we did go out and get a couple other guys in free agency too for cornerbacks with Benjamin St. Just and obviously Elijah Molden Jackson and everything too and all that. Yeah. And so we've kind of attacked that position a little bit, but maybe it's a system fit, plug and play kind of player, guy that could be a difference maker and everything too. Dante Jackson obviously is one of those guys that can be a difference maker, but is he going to be the starter? Who knows? Who's going to be the nickel? I don't know. There's a lot of motion around in that position, but it'd be interesting to see what they do at 22. I can't wait to see the draft. And I know there's going to be some draft parties coming up here soon too. I know there's going to be one here in Arizona with the full Pride crew. So I'm looking forward to it, man.
It's just as important that they nail the personality fit as well, I think. And I think when we talk about Will Johnson or something like that, that could edge it a little. That could make the decision a little easier or a little bit more locked in. Like, this guy's going to make our team and our defense, have the best feel and have the best chemistry and work the best together. Then maybe that makes him more worth it, because that little element to football and to sports is so underrated and is in there as well. We're seeing it in LA with the Lakers right now, Lakers fans, right? Everyone here?
Yeah. Man, I don't really watch that.
Working out.
Padres, let's go. No. Hey, Miguel, breaking news. We want NFL Mike back on the show. Okay, I guess we'll kick Kyle off the show. That's
Kyle's out.
Kyle's out. The Lakers thing, now they're going to want me out.
Yeah, well, let's see if he comes back to the States. I mean, again, he might get arrested in that on international waters. Who knows? They might toss him in the Gulf of America. We'll see what happens. So, all right, I'll give my final thoughts. I'll just say this, guys. I'm excited for the draft. I really am entering the draft with an open mind, a blank slate, if you will, and just I want to be open minded. I really truly believe. I think last year this coaching staff really proved that they know what they're doing. I mean, I'll say this. They can draft late, and these guys could still become very solid players overall. This coaching staff is that good. So I'm excited to see what they choose, and I'm excited to welcome whomever they pick, wherever in the draft. I'm just excited to see what happens. I mean, bottom line, can't wait. This is going to be awesome. I think whoever they choose is going to be right, and it's going to be exciting. So I'm just excited. So I'm just excited. I just can't hide. You remember that song?
That's an old 80s song, dude.
It's an old 80s song. It's a very old song.
I feel like I've already gave my final thoughts, but I'm just ready for the draft. Let's get it going.
Let's go.
Get it going.
I love football. I love football. I love that my coach loves football and is going to pick players that love football.
That's right.
All that matters.
All that matters.
Put that on a t-shirt, somebody.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Yeah, but I did want to say, man, final thoughts, NFL Mike. Thanks for jumping on the podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you for hopping on. I always appreciate it.
Always appreciate having you on here. Your great content and everything too keeps everybody locked in throughout the off season. And I love that you're riling up all the other fan bases.
Yeah, I just want to make it clear. I saw in the chat too earlier in the show that they were like, "Oh, I don't want to see you troll Charger fans." I don't troll Charger fans. No, I'm biased.
I'm on board.
The newest video is backing Keenan Allen to the Hall of Fame. So the newest video just dropped.
It's too funny. It's too funny. But yeah, you troll a lot of the fans out there, not the Chargers fans, obviously. So we appreciate your content and what you do, man.
Yep, and I'll see you guys at the games too.
And again, it looks like the fans want you back too, NFL Mike. A few people say, "Hey, can you just, again, I think Kyle's the one that's going to get replaced right now." So we'll go with that thought at least for
Kyle
right now.
can just become like the producer of the show.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, he'll have the producer hat. He'll have the producer hat. He'll hold the mic. I like that. That's cool. I like that idea. All righty, guys. Well, we're the Bolt Bros with Mike. We'll see you guys in the next one.
From another mother.
Yeah,
that's right. Let's go.
All right, Bolt Bros.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Hey, what's up? Cameron Dick here watching Bolt Bros podcast.